Welcome back, everyone, to another incredible episode of Chat with Dan here for today. What can I say? We're having an incredible, super badass day because we're having on the show the incredible, the amazing, the badass, the superstar, the one and only, the legendary Melissa. Melissa, how are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you? I mean, after that intro, how could I not be doing great? I feel fantastic.
There you go. I mean, what better way, right, to have an incredible, super badass day than to be chatting with someone as badass as you? What I mean?
Thank you. I appreciate that.
There you go. I love it. Now, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, follow, helps a lot. But also, in the description below, you're going to find all of Melissa's social media. Let's follow her, and let's discover why she's super badass. Now, without further more, let's jump in. So I want to start this whole conversation by throwing out the first question, which is, what initially drew you to acting in the first place? Was there like a specific moment or performance that solidified your passion for it?
I think, it was kind of a natural instinct. Like when I was a kid, like little, I always wanted to be a singer, dancer, actress, the triple threat. And I was a dancer when I was younger. I do have some singing training, but I'm more of a closet singer. I can smash some karaoke, but I I haven't been like in a musical or anything like that. But the acting thing I never really got into until I was much, much older. I did a little bit of theater in university as like a hobby, but I didn't become a professional actor until about 3 years ago when I moved to Vancouver.
That's
yeah.
badass.
So it's always just been like a passion of mine that I feel like if I didn't try to be an actor in my life, I would have regretted it. So I thought, you know what? Now is always the best time.
Totally. And that's what life is all about, to go after what you want. I don't think that you are ever late to pursue something that you're passionate about. So, and as long as we're alive, let's do it. So,
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
And tell me, as an actor, you often have to inhabit the lives of various characters. So how do you approach stepping into a new role, and what techniques do you use to make the character feel authentic?
Well, I think there's always a part of us in every character, even the bad ones. There's always a time where, you had some road rage and you feel like, oh, I want something bad to happen to that person, like on such a minute level that you would never follow through. But I think as an actor, you kind of take that little part of yourself that maybe is not, if you're not like the same as your character, and you just have to kind of expand that and bring more of that to life. I also think that if there are experiences that are not shared, obviously, like I've never, if I had a character who won the lottery, right? Like I cannot identify that with that. But I think it's really important to take that feeling or that emotion and find something parallel in your life. I used to be a rugby player in university, and we made it to the finals in Canada, so the national tournament, and our team placed second, which was fantastic. So, that idea of just like pure bliss, like you're just so excited, and you can transfer that to winning the lottery, for example. So I think that's always a great technique, is to try to find something that's somewhat parallel that you can relate to, because at the end of the day, you have to inhabit this character, and it has to be believable as you under these imaginary circumstances. And so I think that's a really good way to kind of like ground yourself in the character.
Totally. And now that you mentioned that, like how, like for example, the case that you mentioned about winning a lottery, like how is the whole process of playing someone on a specific scene for something that you haven't even experienced yet in your real life?
Yeah, I think you have to also have a lot of empathy as an actor. You have to put yourself in that character's position and feel what you would feel if you were that person, right? And then you have to make sure that when the words get laid on top, that it all makes sense. That's always very important. So you have to feel that what you are saying as a character is what you are saying as yourself, right? You have to believe it. If you don't believe it, it's not going to come across on camera or on the stage, right? So you have to truly, use your imagination and really embody that character and the circumstances that they're in.
Totally. And I think that's amazing when you are able to create this character and to present it to the audience. And then once you get the chance to see the audience reaction to it, that perhaps they get hooked to it, or somehow there's something about it that they get related, that they get related to it or something like that. I think that is incredible, and at the same time, it shows how important arts in general are in the general life of a regular person. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I mean, the audience is who we are making art for, right? We're not making art to, put it in a closet and tuck it away. We want people to experience it, right? Whether you're a visual artist or an actor or singer or whatever your art is. But the goal is, you know, to make something that you feel that people can authentically connect to, right?
Sure.
So there's no, people say like, oh, was my acting bad or was my acting good? And there's really no good or bad. It's really, are you truthful as an actor in what you're portraying, and can people be affected by that?
mm, I like it. Yeah. And so once you have the whole character ready to go, right? Tell me, do you have like a ritual or routine to get into character that basically help you to get into the right mindset before, jumping in?
Yeah, I always do some kind of vocal warm up as well as a body warm up. Sometimes, just having a certain posture will help you get into character, right? I've played some pretty badass women, and you got to make sure that you've got the right posture. Your head's held high. You're in power pose, right? These are the things that automatically start to transform you, right? And then you also have to make sure that you are connected with your voice and your breath, because sometimes when people try to dive right into things, they're not grounded, they're not connected. They get really high up in their throat when they're talking, and it completely disconnects from your body. And you have to be kind of, everything's got to be centered in order um, for that acting to really come through authentically.
Totally. Totally. Okay. And, acting can be emotionally demanding. So how do you maintain a balance between fully immersing yourself and at the same time taking care of your mental and emotional well-being?
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, I've played some bad characters. I am part of an audio drama podcast, um, and I play an abusive mom to a teenage girl in Toronto. And like, I have to say some really bad things. And I mean, honestly, they put the sound effects in afterwards, and I was just like, oh God, that is rough. But it's one of those things where you have to truthfully embody that character. You have to go there and you have to go 100%, because if you're holding back in any way, it doesn't come through as being real, right? So you just have to swing all the way through. I had a coach who once said that, where she had a scene where she was supposed to hit somebody with a baseball bat or whatever it was, and she was kind of like going kind of like half-assed with it, and the director just said, you have to just give her, like, just swing all the way through. And it was such a great analogy that you have to really, and it doesn't matter whether the scene is, you're angry or you're crying or you're just like a mess or you're very vulnerable, whatever it is, you have to just give it 100%. And at the end of the day, you have to let it all go. And I'm the kind of person that I don't really hold on to grudges. I get very fiery and emotional about things. In terms of, like, I'm a passionate person. I can get angry on a dime, but then, like 5 minutes later, I don't really care that much about it. It's not that important, So yeah, I don't hold on to things. So I think that's a very good trait to have in this industry, especially when, you're doing auditions and you're auditioning so much, and, the stats are very low on your success rate. And you have to learn to just let things go. You do your audition, you get it done, you put in your performance, and you just let it go. And if you book the job, it's gravy.
Yeah. I mean, it's super important to take that into consideration. Otherwise, once you realize you have already wasted a couple of hours of hitting yourself over the wall because of how you didn't achieve this or that, when it should be like, I did my best, life happens, and just move on. And I mean, at the end, it's not personal, right? So, yeah, just keep moving forward. I think that's the most healthiest way. And like I mean, and not only in acting, I think in life in general as well, to just let things slide, and only and whenever something important happens, then sure, put your attention to it. But when things happen like that, it is what it is, and meh, you know what I mean? So
Yeah, 100%. You have to just let things go, and not hold on to them too tightly, because I mean that also shows up in your audition. If you're like, I really want this, I really, really need it, right? You're not going to do your character justice, because underlying all of that is going to be some neediness that's going to come out, even though you don't mean to. Um, and casting's going to see that, and it will be a turnoff. So you really just have to do things for the love of the job, and then let it go.
there you go. I like it. And tell me, what is your usual process whenever you just finish either shooting a scene or playing a specific scene with your character or everything? Like, what is your usual thing to kind of disconnect and return to be the real you, let's say?
I think for me, it's pretty easy. I just need to take a few deep breaths, and I'm out of it. I'm that person who cracks a lot of jokes on set. And so, if there's a really intense moment with my character, and, they've, the director's called cut, and we're moving on to the next scene, and we're done with it, and we're still staring really intently. I mean, I'm the one who's just like going to cross my eyes and be silly, and then like stick out my tongue, and then we laugh about it, and then it's done. Right. So I try to keep things like professional, obviously, but in between scenes, keep it light.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it's all about. I
Yeah.
like it. And actors have to, I mean, often have to adapt to different genres and styles. So, is there a particular genre or style that you haven't explored yet, but you would love to try anytime in the near future?
I don't think I've done any like historical pieces before. Um, I think it'd be, like a Downton Abbey kind of thing, or, one of those style. And I think doing like a period piece would be really cool. Um, Mainly just because I get to wear some really cool costumes. I think that's what it really come down to. I think, yeah, and anything where I get to be somebody who's so far away from who I am uh day to day, I think that's super fun.
Totally. Yeah, yeah. I would assume too that it's kind of like more fascinating to it to explore total opposite of the real you somehow. So
Yeah,
yeah, I
or
like it.
like a superhero costume would be cool too. Yeah, I'd put on some tights. It'd be fun.
I like it. We'll see what happens. I mean, who knows, right? Maybe
You never know.
I like it. And tell me, let's say that one day I call you and I tell you that I want to become an actor. Now, here's the thing. Zero experience. So based on what you know, what do you think that would be a good place for me to start into this whole journey?
100% training is super important. People talk about some actors are just naturals, and I do think that some people have like a natural confidence. I personally think I'm one of those people where I auditioned for things and I was cast in things before I had any formal training. And I think it just came from years of watching TV, watching movies. Um, you can learn so much by watching actors. And I think I just naturally absorbed a lot of that. But at the same time, you could be somebody who's totally green, and you could completely bomb and suck. And the beauty about acting is that everybody can learn to act and everyone can improve. So I think at the end of the day, go to some classes, get some training. I never went to film school or any acting school, but I'm kind of self taught. So I've read all the books that they tell you to read. I've done lots of workshops and things for training. But getting to class and coaching with somebody who you feel really comfortable with is great. And just allowing yourself to be where you're at whatever stage you're at, because everybody's at a different level and we're all trying to level up, but just be kind to yourself and accept whatever level you're at, because eventually that will become easy and you will move on to the next level.
All right. If I ever become an actor, I'll let you know. I like it.
I can recommend some places to train.
Sounds like a plan to me. I like it. And tell me, let's lighten things up here a little bit and tell me, if you were stranded on a desert island and could only bring three movies to watch for the rest of your life, what would they be?
Okay, you're assuming I've never been stranded on an island before? No, I'm joking. I've not. I think okay, Good Will Hunting is like one of my all-time favorite movies. Um, I used to be a high school math teacher, and I've always been somebody who like math is like a natural thing for me. I've always just kind of gotten it. So I really related to like I'm not like Mensa level mathematics. Okay, like I'm not like Matt Damon's character, but like on some degree I could relate to his character. And it's just such a great story. So definitely I would say Good Will Hunting. Um Inception kind of blew my mind. I thought that movie I like sci-fi stuff, kind of things that would never really happen in real life or that you think would happen. And I think there's so many layers to that movie that it's a little bit of mystery, it's a little bit of intrigue, it's a little bit of a love story. I mean, it kind of has everything to it, a little bit of action. Um, yeah, and I think I could watch it many times over and still find new things, little Easter eggs in it.
Hmm.
Oh, and then the last one, oh, I have to say The Lion King, like the original Disney animated, because when I was a kid, I think I had the album back when like people used to buy CDs and soundtracks. I had I had the Lion King soundtrack before I even saw the movie, and I knew every word of every song, and still to this day, like I love it. It's my favorite soundtrack.
There you go. I like it. And what about TV shows? I'm curious.
Okay, Brooklyn Nine-Nine has got to be
Okay.
my all-time favorite. It's just the comedy is so well done. The characters are so quirky and hilarious, and it's just a great ensemble cast. And the writing is fantastic, like
Mm,
absolutely fantastic. So yeah, definitely Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
I'll take it. And if your life was turned into a movie, tell me which actor would you want to play you and why?
Sandra Bullock, because obviously we're twins.
Totally.
No. I mean, like she's just great. She can do any genre. I mean, from like romantic comedy to action to dark drama. She just has such range. And she also is, I don't know what her secret to the anti-aging is, but she always looks like she's 25. It's crazy. I think if her and Paul Rudd had children, they would be immortal. I don't know what it is, something in their genes, but both are great actors and lovely human beings in real life too, I've heard.
Totally. Yeah. You know what? Yeah, that would be interesting to see like how their kids would be kind of immortal for sure.
I guarantee you it's, yeah, 100%. They would live forever.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure. And acting often involves vulnerability and putting yourself out there. So how do you handle criticism and rejection in such a competitive industry?
I think being a person who just kind of lets things go really helps. I'm not easily offended. I'm not a very um, sensitive person, and a lot of actors are, which is a great um, quality. I wish I was a little bit more sensitive. Sometimes I have to work a little harder at certain things because of that, but it means that I kind of naturally have a thick skin and I don't let things bother me. And I think that's really important in this industry. You are often judged for so many things that you can't control: the color of your hair, the size of your nose, like how big or small you are, right? There's so many factors that you're being judged on all the time. And I think at the end of the day, if you just do good work, that's all that matters,
Totally. Yeah. Yeah, I'll take it for sure. I mean,
right?
at the end, as we were saying, I mean, it's not personal, and I think that the most healthiest way possible is to have a thick skin on it. Like in general, you are pursuing whatever makes you happy, go for it, and that along the way there're gonna be like some missteps or things that happen, and that's just the way it is. And either it's up to you to suck it up and keep moving, or just stay there and waste your time. So
Yeah, and don't be an actor because you love attention and you want to look beautiful on camera. That's to me, like that's a terrible reason for being an actor. Actors need to be able to, look terrible and have a no makeup face and be vulnerable, right? I mean, it's it's scary for some people. Um, but I think in order to truly tell stories, you need to not worry about yourself. It's not about you. It's
Totally.
about your story and the connection of your character with other characters.
And it's about being real. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because like the audience can tell like instantly, like whenever they're seeing a performance that it's kind of fake going on, we can totally tell to it. I mean, there's like something about it that you're like, yeah, no, this doesn't connect. And I think that's important too, to just be real and follow whatever you are passionate about for the right reasons and not for something so mundane as being famous and have a lot of money. Because, an actor once told me that if you want to get famous, you can do it. You can do like a funny TikTok video and become trending and voila, you are famous now. But if you're doing it for those reasons, then pursue something else, basically.
Yeah, you're kind of doing it for all the wrong reasons, I think. I mean, and if you're the kind of person who wants that kind of attention, sure, do that on TikTok or Instagram or whatever. But to make art, I think you have to be truly invested and passionate about the art,
Totally.
and how you look is not really that important.
Yeah. I like it. And tell me, what motivates you? We all have those days that basically we just want to quit. It's inevitable, happens to all of us. So how you stay positive on a day that perhaps you are not doing so well today, let's say.
I've never been a person who ever took no as an answer. Actually, let me backtrack. I've never considered the answer no. Whenever I've decided I wanted to do something, I've just done it. So all the kind of like major things in my life that I have achieved, I kind of just said, this is what I'm going to do. It's kind of like a donkey attitude. I'm a very stubborn person. So I feel like, I just don't give up. And, if I want something, I'm going to get it. And it doesn't mean that I'm going to get it tomorrow, but it means that you have to put in the hard work and the time and the commitment, and you have to show up, right? I mean, not everybody's 100% confident all the time, right? We all have our days, but it's just a matter of, you've got to just put one foot in front of the other and keep going. And, the person who sticks with it is going to be rewarded in the end. It's that classic, like, tortoise and the hare kind of story.
Preach. I like it. Now I figure out why you're super badass. Done.
Done.
And
I made a mic drop.
there you go. And my last question, so we can all enjoy and relax after an incredible chat here. Tell me, what do you think that could be the best title for this episode?
Anyway, I think we've talked a lot about just letting things go and being relaxed about things. So maybe let go of grudges and auditions.
There you go. I love it.
That's it. I think we'd all be a little bit better if we all just kind of relax and let it go.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, life would be a lot easier for everyone, especially these days that somehow we're living into a difficult kind of time. So the fact that we could be able to release and just keep moving.
Yeah, I mean, there are lots of things in the world that are not conducive to that necessarily, but not everything is under control. And so I think that's the best thing we can do for ourselves.
Totally. I mean, at the end, what can I say? The fact that you're pursuing it, you're making it happen, you're shining out there, that you are doing the work to it. I mean, that's badass, but also it's badass the fact that you are, because that you are making it happen. I think that is the most incredible part, that you are actually making it happen. And I think that is motivational for everyone who either sees this or listen to this, the fact that it's never too late, to jump into something you're passionate about. And of course, there are going to be moments that you're going to be questioning yourselves or it's a hard situation, let's say. But at the end, if you take it as part of the whole learning curve to become the better person you want to achieve at some point, that's badass.
Definitely. I think it's a good summary.
Epic. So I want to thank you so much for making this happen, Melissa. I mean, keep doing what you do, keep being super badass and keep shining out there. I also want to thank those who stayed the whole episode. Let us know what you think in the comments below. But as I said at the beginning, you're going to find all of Melissa's social media. Let's follow her. Let's make her viral. # Team Melissa. And keep shining out there. Keep rocking. I'll be seeing you in the next one.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time.
Absolutely.